Welcome everybody. Welcome to ClayDesk. My name is Syed, and in this short video, I'm going to give you 5 AWS Management Console tips and tricks that is going to take you a long way. So let's dive right in and take a look at our first tip that you are going to do once you log on to Management Console. You need to be able to set your billing alarms right off the bat. So do not wait. As soon as you log in, make sure that's the first thing you ought to do because AWS uses the pay-per-use pricing model for its services. For example, if you launch a virtual machine, you have to pay for it per hour, or you're billed for every gigabyte of data stored in the object store. So make sure you do that because unwanted costs may occur if you forget to terminate unused virtual machines, for example, your EC2 instances, right? Or delete data that you no longer need from the S3 buckets. To avoid an unexpected billing amount on your monthly invoice from AWS, you should create a billing alarm, right? A billing alarm will send you an email and a notification if the cost for the current month exceeds the limit. Tip number two, right? Next thing you ought to do is enable the multi-factor authentication for your root user account because this account grants access to every part of the AWS account from launching virtual machines to deleting databases. That's pretty powerful, right? Pretty scary too at times. So make sure you have the MFA enabled. In other words, your root user is valuable target for all kinds of hackers or bad people, right? Or bad actors. The first thing you should do after creating your AWS account, once you're logged into your management console, of course, is enable multi-factor authentication for the root user. You can use a virtual device such as mobile application on your smartphone, for example, or a hardware token. So after enabling the MFA, you have to enter your email password and one-time password from your MFA device to log in. Very important. All right, jump into number three. The tip is understand access or identity and access management, also known as the IAM. And it's very, very important because this service is basically authenticating and authorizing the request to the AWS API. IAM is a fundamental part of security in the cloud. It allows you to restrict access to all AWS services. Let me give an example. For example, if Bob allowed to launch, or is Bob rather allowed to launch a new virtual server? Or is the application permitted to store data on the object store? Or is Jane authorized to access customer information stored in the NoSQL database? So, all of these questions, right? And it's important to understand the concepts of IAM and to follow the best practices. So, do yourself a big favor and get familiar with the Identity and Access Management Service right from the start. All right, let's go on to the next, which is enabling CloudTrail. Pretty much everyone forgets, right? Every time you log on to your management console, make sure this is a neat little tip and, of course, a trick as well, because you can use CloudTrail to track every call to the AWS API. So, whenever you or one of your team members change your cloud infrastructure, for example, like say you're adjusting your firewall configuration, right? A log event is stored if you have the CloudTrail enabled. And doing so allows you to debug failures or investigate security incidences. So enabling CloudTrail now, and you'll have the option to go through the log files when needed later, right? So it's pretty neat evidence if you enable CloudTrail. All right, let's jump into our final tip and trick. Once you log on to the management console, make sure you install and configure the AWS command line interface. Now, this is something is going to help you long ways because as you grow into the field, whether you're going to be a solutions architect or a cloud engineer or a DevOps engineer, whatever it is, you need to sort of like master the CLI. And the AWS Management Console allows you to manage AWS services by simply clicking through a web interface. Now, the AWS command line interface also allows you to access AWS services from your command line. This is from PowerShell, from VS Code, or any other IDE such as Eclipse. It doesn't matter. You can install these toolkits and use the power of the CLI. And this is, of course, a valuable alternative if you're a command line ninja, which you need to be anyways as time progresses. All right, so these are the top 5 tips and tricks. Once you log on to the AWS Management Console, make sure you follow these, and of course go through others as well, like Trusted Advisor, and there are many, many others. But in my recommendation, these are the top 5. Nice, short and sweet, but very, very important as you grow into the AWS career. All right, so that's all I have. Wanted to let that out to you. Let me know in comments down below. If you have any questions, post your questions in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer. And of course, as always, like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Syed, and I will see you guys in the next video.